All right, so we're in the third of the three installments of this Schoology thing, and just how I set up my Schoology. This one's about assessments and how this works. I'll try to go quickly so I don't waste your time, but we'll go through. So I'm going to actually go into my Unit 1 here, and I have classroom materials. I have formative assessments. I can also do another folder just called maybe standards quizzes or something like that. I don't know. Let's make it purple. That looks nice. So we have that. And now what I want to go through first is I want to show you how to set up these member groups. Okay, so you go down here to members right here, and there's all my members of my class. I only have 10. Wouldn't that be a dream world? What we want to do is we are going to organize right here. We're going to go over to the right. We're going to add a grading group right there. And I'm going to just call this, let's say, Quiz 1 or whatever you want to call it. Now, you will have to do this for each of your classes, even if they are linked. So I have two classes, so I call my first block Quiz 1A, and I call my second block Quiz 1B, and has that. So now I'm going to go ahead and create grade group. Now watch, I have not selected anyone in here, okay? So as long as I create that grading group, nobody is in that Quiz 1 grade group. There's nobody in there, which is important for later, okay? So let's go to Unit 1 again here, right here. We go to formative assessments here. And I'm gonna just add an assessment here. Let's check it out. So I got my member group. That was fun. Now I go here and I'm gonna hit this. Now there's two types. There's test and quiz, which is the old school Schoology. That's what they used to use for everything and all that kind of stuff. And we never had oh, there was something it was called that other schools paid for, but we never paid for it, where they had different kinds of questions on there. But then once Schoology was bought by Power School, they added this new one here, the assessment. And I like the assessment better because it gives me more options to ask different types of questions. So let's start with this one right here. We're going to do this little add assessment here. I'm going to give it a name. We'll just say a sample test. And I'll call it sample test one, just for fun. I'll make the due date today. I'm going to enable it. I'm going to show you why, because now anybody that can see the test can start the test immediately, right? And I'm going to put this in a formative assessment because it is in the formative assessment file. Already defaulted to that default scale. Told you so. And then we have this right here, the individually assigned. Now watch this, okay? So if I click this right here and then I put quiz one, boom. The only people that can see this quiz, even though it's enabled, the only people that can see it are the people in quiz one. And let's not forget, nobody was in that group. So that's cool. So nobody can see this. So I hit create, and then it comes up with this guy right here. Boom. So you have the setup. You can give them instructions here. These are instructions. And then you can have a time limit. You can have a random order. I always put random order because my kids sit right next to each other. So I make sure they don't see the same question at the same time. And then let's see. So you can flag question review. These are all this kind of stuff here. I don't check any of those. Within the student settings, if it is a test, I do not let them see their scores until everybody's done. So I pick no on that. If it's a practice quiz, I say yes because I want them to see that they got it wrong or right and what answer they put, but they don't get the right answer because I want them to ask me questions and let's have a discussion of why you got it wrong. And then, of course, if it's just a formative assessment where they're doing it on your own, then I say yes with correct answers. So this is just a formative assessment, so I will put yes with correct answers. And then I also will let people do them as many times as they want, which is 10. Let's face it, nobody's going more than 10. So now I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then that won't change anything. The page is just right there. It is saved. But then what we're going to do is we are going to add some questions. And it actually told me to do that down here, add questions. But I'm just going to go back up here and go to this tab. Questions. Look at all the different questions you can ask. Whoa, kind of a big deal. Right there. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of questions here just to show you. Fill in the blanks are nice. I love a good fill in the blank question because I can be kind of inclusive on this. I could say like something like the person doing this video is Mr. And then I just hit the shift and the dash key and boom, I've got a little underline there. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also hit this response up here, but we just do that. And then I hit a period and that's it. And this is what it looks like. That's a huge blank, but we got to put in the answer. So it's W-I-R-T-H. That's how you spell my name. And notice there's 5 letters in there. Okay, so the length of this thing is 40. So I'm going to actually take this down, maybe 6. and watch what happens to that. Oh, it gets much smaller, much more manageable. That's nice. So then we have that. You can give it a partial match, which means that won't work with only one blank, but if you have like 3 or 4 blanks, then you can get partial credit. So I just hit save, and voila, we've made our first question. Okay, I'll do another one, which would be like maybe a fill in the blank drop down. That's a good time. Let's say hello. My name is blank again, right there, and then I can have options. I could say, is it worth? No. Is it you know gross? Definitely not. Too tall. Let's see. Let's so something like Bramfast, something like that. So we have that. So then, if I want to know what the correct answer is, I got to drop down here. My name's Worth. So do that. And then if you want to preview it, you can go right here and hit preview, and then you can say, hey, here's what it looks like. Nice. And look, it even gives you the score. You can show the answers. Check. So that's all it is. I just hit add a question to get back to it, and hit save. Now I have 2 questions, right? And I can actually take these things and drag them where they need to be. I want to mess with them and say, I would rather have that one first. Change the points. You can make them 1 to 2 to 3, all the way to, I think, 1,000,000,000. I'm not sure. I doubt it. You can do mass short answer, but you do have to hand grade those. These 2 types will grade them for you. If you want to grade them on your own, you can do mass short answer. You can do highlight, hotspots, stuff like that. Short answer has to be graded by you. Some of these, the ones that I'm doing formative assessments, I just want the computer to grade them so the kids are getting quick feedback and all that kind of stuff. You can do ordering. So if you want to put stuff in order, you can do that. Like say, place these, I don't know, letters to spell dog. That's ridiculous. Okay. So I can say, what if I did like O and then D and then G, which is not how you spell dog, guys. And then I don't want this last one because there's nothing there. We have that. And then if I just want to make them to spell dog, then I just put there. And you can do partial match as well on that. And then we can save. And voila. Now we have 3 questions. That was fun. So you can do ordering and stuff like that. Let's preview this sucker. I'll show you what it looks like here. Preview the question. And there it is. So they would just say, oh, I need to move that up 1. Or I could spell God. I don't know why I would, but there you go. So let me cancel that. I noticed that was worth 300 points in the thing, but it is not really. It's just 1 point. Okay. So what else we got to do? Oh, we can edit this thing. Okay. So I want to go up here to actions, and then I can edit. Watch this. This is beautiful. Okay. Notice we only have this. We have all that. We're looking good. We got the edit. Actually, it looks good. We've already done everything. Notice it's enabled. Okay. Now, let's see what we've got here. We've set it up. Everything's good. We've edited it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get out of here for formative assessments. Okay, we got that. And then imagine you say, okay, of my members, I want only 3 people to take it because they're ready. I go to this quiz 1 group right here, quiz 1. Wait, I got to click it. Clicks 1, edit. And now let's say Miss McInnes is ready, Mr. Shearer is ready, and let's say Mr. Gross is ready. We know Brandfest wasn't going to be ready. So I hit create grading group. Boom, there we go. So now let's check this out. If I view course as a student, didn't know if you knew you could do that. Let's say I want to look at like Mr. Brandfest right here. Unit 1, formative assessments, nothing there. Okay, but if I say Gross, he was ready. So Unit 1, formative assessment. There it is. So he can see it, but Mr. Brandfast cannot. Okay. And then if you go to the grade book for a teacher, I went back to, now I'm in the teacher grading thing here. Grade book. Here it is. Look, anybody that's not allowed to take it, they just have a gray thing. But those that are allowed to take it have a spot for a score. And if they take it, they'll get a score, and it'll be awesome. So we have that. Let's see. I gave the types of questions. Okay, so now I'm going to make another quiz. And I'm going to show you about something called student completion. All right, so we have formative assessments. So like let's say you have a unit where you have a bunch of formative assessments that you want them to do, but you want them to do in order. Okay, so I'm going to hit another assessment here. I'm going to call it sample test 2. Right there, due date. I'm going to make that due tomorrow. Not that it matters. I'm going to enable it. Okay. I'm going to hit category, formative assessment, and let's go ahead and do it again for quiz 1. And then they're good. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you this thing right here. I do this with my regular quizzes. I would never assign to certain people with formative assessments because everybody should be allowed to take those. But with certain standard quizzes, if a kid's not ready, I'm not going to let them take the quiz because they didn't prepare. So we have that. So I'm going to create a new quiz. All right. And I'm just going to write instructions here. Literally. Nope, I actually spelled it instructions. That's how you spell it. I'm not going to mess with anything. I'm just saving it right here. And then I'm going to go up and add just one question just to show you. Let's see. Let's do a multiple choice. Okay. Which of these is the letter A? This is B. No, that's an F. That's an E. And that's an A. Then I go and I say, okay, A is the right answer. And you can shuffle those. You can do multiple responses, but I promise you only one of those is A. So you have that. Let me save that. And the reason why I made the second one was because I want to go back to this formative assessments folder, okay? So let's say I don't want them to do sample test 2 unless they've already finished sample test 1. I can go to options here, and I can say student completion right there. And then I can add a requirement. And then I say sample test 1. I can do these options right here. They got to view the item, which is not true. You can just have them view it. That's ridiculous. They have to make a submission or they have to score at least a certain score. I'm going to have them score at least an 80 on this thing. And then they have that. Then I do a second requirement. Hey, maybe I want to see them score at least an 80 on this one too. Boom. Now here's the cool part. Requirements must be completed in sequential order. That was a good time. Now I hit save changes. Boom. Now let's go look at it again. Remember, let's see. I think McKennis was in there. She could see the quiz. So I go unit 1. Look at that. It says must complete. Formative assessments. Look how sample test 2 is grayed out. She cannot do that until she scores at least an 80 on this sample test 1. So that way you can kind of make sure that students know what they're doing before they go on to the next one, especially on some of your sequential classes like chemistry and other things like that. So I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know, but that's how you do assessments. And if you don't have that, maybe you're not really into like those kind of questions, you can always just add an assignment like so. And you can just make whatever you want. You can actually do Google Drive assignments where it actually makes a copy of each Google Drive assignment and will then the students can turn it back into you and it's their own deal. You can align things to learning objectives, which is kind of a nightmare in Schoology at this point. You could try it, but I don't know. But you can do that kind of stuff, annotations assignment, anything like that. Lots of different things that you can do with this. It's kind of a cool little platform. But let me know if you need anything else or talk to Mary Garth.